All right, welcome to the Young Turks, everybody. Thanks for joining us. Ben Mankiewicz here, Anna Kasparian, as always. Exciting, eclectic selection of stories today, including the Young Turks rap. Is that correct?
Yeah, I love it. Let me tell you, this is the second TYT rap that I know of. I'm sure there are others out there, but they're so good. There's so many talented TYT listeners that are also artists. So we have a TYT rap. We're going to show it to you guys in just a minute.
Artists paint.
No. It's an artist.
All right.
And I'm down with this song.
All right. Well, you may be down.
I'm jiggy with it.
Yeah. Well, you're like 9, so that makes some sense. Also, drive-through sex.
Yeah.
It's about time.
Who doesn't like drive-through sex?
Joining us from New York City via Skype, Jen Guger, who is all week hosting the Dylan Radigan show, 4 to 5 Eastern. 1 to 2 specific, 1 to 2 Pacific on MSNBC. Jenk, how are you?
I'm freaking awesome.
It went well today. I mean, it's all gone well, but I thought it was, a particularly rousing show. You had a big argument with a Republican congressman that seemed to go well.
Yeah, we had a bit of an argument. You might want to check that out on YouTube. Yeah, we shook some folks up. We shook them up. And, yeah, we did real well. Oh, I should tell you. I'm going to tell you some fun celebrity stories in New York in a second. But I should tell you, as I always like to fill people in, ratings in from yesterday, crushing.
Really?
I'm starting to feel bad for CNN.
There's an interesting story that I read today about how CNN should hire Jon Stewart, at the very least, as sort of a contributing editor. He wouldn't have to necessarily give up The Daily Show, but he would be a part of the CNN lineup, at least contributing to shows every now and then. And but you read that story and you think, obviously. I mean, nothing could make more sense. I don't want to say that to you while you're there at MSNBC, because the first thing you guys should do is now prevent that.
No. There is one thing that makes a little bit more sense, which is to hire Jon Stewart along with us, okay? And by that, I don't mean hire me to do a talk show, whatever. Like, bring the Young Turks attitude, which is, hey, you know what? We don't give a damn. I mean, this is what Republicans are, that's funny Freudian slip. What the media and CNN is supposed to stand for. We don't care if they're Democrats or Republicans. We're coming for them, right? And Jon Stewart feels the same way. If, like, we went into CNN and we were doing the editing and the producing and the picking of the stories, let alone doing shows, I mean, come on, we'd go and we'd investigate the government. We would do news.
Yeah, they wouldn't know what to do with that. I mean, they would. They're awesome, and the parent company is awesome too. All right, the TYT, oh no, sorry, Anna. Before we get to the TYT rap, why were there a bunch of celebrities at 30 Rock today, Jake?
Okay, yeah, like today was unbelievable. It was L.A. and New York. Actually, I don't think I've seen this many celebrities in L.A. ever in a day. First of all, they were shooting 30 Rock. At 30 Rock.
Sure, they do that.
Yeah, from time to time. Actually, they don't do it that often, but or actually, I'm sorry, they do, right? But they were shooting outside, right? So I saw either .com or Grizz. One of those.
Okay.
Okay, and I took a picture of him. I tweeted that out to everybody following us on Twitter.com/the.
Grizz is the larger one.
I think it was .com.
Okay, .com is the bald one.
Yes, it was .com.
All right.
Okay, so, but we're just getting warmed up.
Actually, Alec is the bald one. It's good stuff. Okay. All right, what else? Sorry, so you saw a .com.
Okay, then Wendy saw Tracy Morgan on her way to lunch.
Oh, wow.
Jealous.
Okay, and apparently somebody's getting pregnant tonight. I didn't know that. That's what Tracy told her. Wait a minute. Okay. Anyway, we're just getting warmed up. Then we come over here on the Jimmy Fallon Show, which is on this floor that we're broadcasting from. Drew Barrymore, right, Jer?
Oh, I didn't see her.
Oh, I didn't see her, but she was. I think it said Drew Barrymore in the green room.
Oh, you didn't see her? Because I'm anxious for you to get to a white person. So keep going.
And then not yet, because then Snoop.
Oh, come on! This is so dull.
Okay. By the way, Snoop's entourage is, of course, enormous.
Right.
We stepped. I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, so shh.
Right.
We stepped onto this floor, and let me put it this way: it smelled of a certain herb.
Right. Okay. Sure.
Okay.
Sage.
It could be paprika.
Right. Sure.
Okay. But the whole floor, we're like, wow, what is this? And we're like, oh, Snoop is in the house.
Right.
He had like 3 or 4 bodyguards around his dressing room. He had a guy in a peach suit who I think was his manager. Okay. I mean, the whole 9 yards.
All right. Peach is the new black. Okay. So we got Snoop. We have Tracy Morgan. We have .com. Drew Barrymore's there, but you didn't see her. Who else?
Okay. I'm not done yet.
All
Here
right.
comes the biggest one. Apparently, Wendy steps out of our hotel this morning and flashes everywhere, paparazzi. It's going off. She's like, what is, are they here for Prometheus? What's going on, right? Justin Bieber.
Ooh,
Oh my God.
that's huge. Did you see him?
Wendy did. I did not. I was already at the studio.
Um,
But look, think about that. And the amazing part is, Justin Bieber, out of all those people, had by far the most paparazzi around him.
Well, that's because that's who buys those the magazines and who visits the websites with the pictures on it. That's just playing to your market. I mean, do you really? They're like, oh my God, you buy the copy of Us Weekly? You see that great photo of .com? He's just like us. He was shopping. I mean, I don't think so.
Probably not. No.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's good stuff. That's what you get. You're hanging out at NBC. You're going to get some celebs. Jimmy Fallon, I thought, did a great job there on the Emmys, which had a little life for a change.
Mm-hmm.
Did you guys?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, we did amazing coverage of the Emmys yesterday.
Did you see the Modern Family George Clooney video?
Oh, I haven't seen that
You
video.
got to see that. It's
Again,
so good, so good.
Again, the Emmy failure continues.
All right.
And what I meant by great coverage is it was terrible.
Oh, it was horrible.
Like I couldn't remember the name of Jane Lynch. Like
Nice.
I was like, what's her first name again? That Lynch girl.
Oh,
What was
okay,
it?
right.
Yeah, fail.
All right, good. All right, epic Emmy fail. Okay, all right. So TYT, the TYT rap.
Yes, the TYT rap. I don't know the name of the individual who did this. I was searching for it and I couldn't find it. But
Jane Lynch, I believe, is her name.
But on YouTube, his username is Q2in2Y.
Q2 in 2Y.
Yeah, and I might be saying that wrong. Maybe it's Q2in2Y.
Q2 in 2Y. That's probably, I don't know.
Right.
I have no idea.
So, I mean, it's a funky name. I think it's hip and cutting edge.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so look, we have the rap, we have the video of it. I want you guys to listen to it, so let's do it.
TYT, army get them arms up. Balance the region, calling us young Saddam, yeah. But we ain't terrorists, Fox News, we bomb, yeah. The sticks and stones can't break through this armor. Jake Huger, the recruiter, remove your right-wing nonsense. We fighting with the Cougars. And yes, we don't die, we multiply. An army of supermen, all the rest like Cougars. Right? And our end, they are kicking it all night. To get a view, all you gotta do is subscribe. Yes, that little yellow button on the side. And if you disagree, boy, exit to the right. Leading a revolution, only solution to the lies exhumed nationwide. We try to play it by your rules, but your rules need improvement, cause we representing the new movement. TYT, holla, TYT, gotcha.
Oh, come on. How awesome was that? That sounded professional.
It did sound professional, and when Cenk strikes it rich at MSNBC, when the line, but we ain't terrorists, Fox News, we bomb you,
Yeah, that's a little iffy.
will cost him his job.
Well, first of all, I obviously denounce and reject that rap. So I'm saying that now so Obama doesn't fire me. But other than that, I say, TYT!
Yeah, my favorite part is where he says,
Anna?
Huh? Well, I like that part too. There are two favorite parts, okay? The two verses in the middle. So Cenk Uygur, the recruiter, remove your right wing nonsense, you fighting with the Cougars.
Yeah, I don't understand any part of that line, but it is.
But I like Cenk Uygur, the recruiter.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
That's awesome. And then I like Anna and JR kicking it all night,
Of course you do.
just because it says my name.
Yeah. Hey, Jesus, what's your favorite part? Oh, you're not in it. Right. Okay.
Ouch.
All right, that's impressive stuff from a Q2N2Y. That's good.
Yes.
Not as good as this, though.
Not as good as our Turkish Facebook song. This is a video that several of our viewers sent to us, and we couldn't help but do it. So we have a little tidbit of it, and then we're going to fast forward to the end,
Okay.
which is also awesome. So let's give them a little taste of Turkish music.
Nereden buldun? Facebook, Facebook, her gün aradım durdum. Facebook, Facebook, bu kızı oradan buldum. Facebook, Facebook, ya görür görmez tutuldum. Facebook,
Can we fast forward to the end now?
her gün aradım durdum. Facebook, Facebook, bu kızı oradan buldum.
I think
Yeah.
I think we got the idea. I think we know what's happening here. I
Okay.
think the gist has been conveyed.
I have a little bit of commentary on this.
All right, bring it on.
Before we go to the end. So when I heard that song, I thought, geez, it's like every other Turkish/Armenian song, except you hear Facebook in the middle of it. Every single one of them sound the same.
Well-
but even given that, it's highly addictive. The entire day I was singing Facebook, Facebook, whatever, you know, just totally dancing to it in my car. It was awesome. I like it.
Well, maybe it is addictive. I don't know. We'll see whether I spend the rest of the day singing Facebook, Facebook. The great thing is that if you don't know any Turkish, and no one does, it sounds like gibberish. So it sounds like it's like do 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 Facebook. Facebook, blah, 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 blah. And so I keep thinking it's the dumbest song ever because all they do is sing Facebook, Facebook.
Right.
Of course, not recognizing that nya, 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 those are probably words.
Right. They're words that our Turkish host
Right.
can probably understand,
He's
right?
a good-looking guy.
If only we had a host on this show that spoke Turkish.
Yeah, well,
Oh my God, we're the only show in America that does.
so what are they saying?
So he says that he's really psyched about Facebook because he was looking through it and saw all these hot girls. And then he found that really hot one. He says, look, I found her through Facebook, Facebook, Facebook.
Nya, 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 nya.
Facebook, Facebook. I love it.
Yeah, you know what? I probably could have translated that even without Jack's help. Look, Facebook is awesome. Look, Facebook has hot girls. Look, I'm going to get laid with this girl on Facebook. Facebook. Mwah, 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 mwah.
Okay, look, before we go to the end, what I love about this is how much American culture has permeated through the pores of the entire world. Earlier in the video, he was calling her Tweety, and then she was on there with like a little Tweety doll. You know, then we've got, obviously, the entire song's about Facebook, but every little piece of that was American culture. And then at the very end, which we're going to show you right now, he randomly, I don't think he realizes he's doing this, but zooms back into the 1980s with a Thriller-like jacket as he dances on the water. So let's check that out.
Galiba aşık oldum.
Sure was over. Look at the S&M guys showing up out of nowhere.
You know, that girl did not look amused by the dance.
No, she didn't. What's with the guys with the masks? What's with the dungeon guys? Where's their mistress?
No. I love that because it's so random and it's like every Turkish video you've ever seen, like for no reason, like weird stuff pops up. Like, what were they? Were they ninjas?
Yeah.
Were they assassins? What were they? And why are why are the crazy Turkish ninjas in a song about Facebook, Facebook?
I like it when Jake says things like, it's like every Turkish video you've ever seen. Yeah, all right, no one's seen a Turkish video, okay? Now answer me this, Anna or Jake.
Yes.
Is this a actual song by an actual performer? Very handsome guy. Or is it like a promotional ad of Facebook in Turkey?
Well, go ahead, Jake.
Yeah, no. My understanding, and I haven't kept up with the Turkish singers very well, but that's a real guy. But to give you it's not a Facebook promotional thing at all. It's just a song he did. And now in Turkish songs, they're just dropping all those cultural references in the middle of a hardcore, old school Turkish song. They'll mention Diet Coke.
Oh, really?
Right. And this guy's name is Ismail YK. Just the letters YK. How American is that? There's no YK name in Turkish.
Right.
It's like McG, but except he's Ismail YK.
Right. All right. Well, that's interesting. You think there's one instrument involved in that song? Mm-hmm. Like any actual instrument?
No. It's all like electronic music. There's
right.
no way there are instruments in that. But maybe I'm wrong. Who knows?
Facebook.
No, there's no way. See, we're all screwed. There's no way we're getting it out of our head. I'm with Anna all day today. I was like, Facebook.
Well, you know what? I'm not ruling myself out of that possibly. All right, let's do this one story real quick before we go to break. So I'm reading this story today. That's why I brought this to your attention, Anna. Mm-hmm. Because just listen to how it begins, Cenk. It says, a bountiful Italian mushroom season has turned deadly. I'm like already wildly intrigued. A bountiful Italian mushroom season has turned deadly, claiming the lives of at least 18 people in recent weeks. Now, I'm just curious, what do you think this story is going to be about?
Well, initially I thought it was going to be about drugs, like shrooms and stuff.
Right, like bad, it was a bad group of mushrooms they ate and they were poisoned or something, right?
Yeah.
No. Okay. According to Italy's La Repubblica newspaper, mushroom seekers have been relentless, it says here, in their pursuit of this particular mushroom, and that they're abandoning safety procedures. So already I'm like, what the hell are the safety? What do you have to do to get a mushroom? You have to wear like a special suit? Mm-hmm. But the safety procedures, apparently, and then this is unclear, donning camouflage and hunting in darkness in an effort to scout remote, highly coveted troves. So I always thought, donning camouflage, I'm like, are they supposed to don camouflage? Or are they not supposed to wear camouflage? And what are you trying to do? Sneak up on the mushrooms? Or are you banned from sneaking up on the mushrooms? What could camouflage possibly have to do with this?
You know what I was thinking? Are the mushrooms talking to one another going,
right.
Do you see them?
Right.
I don't see them. Oh, damn, there they are!
Or is there like a gentleman's agreement between man and mushroom not to wear camouflage? It's just an understanding, like in golf, where you admit you've made a mistake. All right, so here now is a quote from the head of the Alpine Rescue Service in northwest Italy's, in the region where this is happening. He says there's too much carelessness. Too many people don't give a darn about the right rules. Unfortunately, this is a result. Again, we're like 3 paragraphs in. I don't know, how did these people die? What the hell happened to the mushroom? See them in camouflage and fire back? Mm-hmm. Like, what is going on with this story? Then 18 people died in just a 10-day period. Now my head's about to explode. Like, what could possibly have happened? Many of them had foregone proper footwear, clothing, and equipment, and died after falling down alpine slopes.
Oh.
So they fell off a cliff looking for mushrooms. 18 of them fell off a cliff.
In 10 days.
In 10 days, 18 people fell off a cliff looking for a mushroom. Again, some of them apparently wearing camouflage.
Can I tell you something? Here's who wouldn't have been number 18. Me. Because after they told me 17 guys died in the last 10 days falling off that cliff,
yeah.
I don't wear shoes.
Yeah, I'm going to wear
the camouflage. But my sense is, more than anything else, I'd have gone and gotten a hot cup of chocolate.
Yeah, right. You know what? And I go and I get a salad. They can put some mushrooms on it. 18 people died, oddly, wearing camouflage, sneaking up on mushrooms. Sneaking up, on unsuspecting mushrooms. All right, I loved that story.
Guys, I'm picturing these guys like, in like the army, like crawling up
Totally,
like this on the mushrooms. Hold up. This is Eagle on base. I'm almost on the mushroom. And everybody's like, shush! What's the matter with you? You're going to give away our position.
They'll hear you. It's like in the TV shows when they do the military stuff that obviously the military guys know, but that always seems made up for TV when they're, and everyone who's in the squad speaks the language of, and then everyone knows what to do. Everyone knows exactly what that means, no matter how complicated it might be. That's what happens with the mushrooms. All right, Cenk, thanks for that. What do we got coming up after the break there, Anna?
When we come back, we have Rick Sanchez being accused of making a racist comment about President Obama.
It's a funny one.
It's a funny one, and we also have his apology that he made on air live.
Also funny.
Probably funnier. So we'll be back on the Young Turks with that. Welcome back to the Young Turks. Anna Kasparian, Ben Mankiewicz, and Cenk Uygur with you. All right, so Rick Sanchez was talking to Jessica Yellen, and he was discussing the rumors that Obama is facing about...
She's a CNN reporter.
Yeah, she's a CNN reporter. She usually comes on to talk about, politics. She's a political correspondent. And, they were talking about the rumors regarding Obama being a Muslim. And, Rick Sanchez...
Are they rumors? I mean, are they just rumors?
Well, I mean, he says he's a Christian, and I guess I'll take his word for it.
Right.
But, that's what he says.
I'll take the president at his word, I suppose.
Yeah, exactly. So, Rick Sanchez seemed puzzled at these rumors and how Obama isn't able to change the mindset. So, while doing so, he said something that was a little offensive. Let's watch the video.
I'm just sitting here just shaking my head. He is the cotton-picking president of the United States. Right. If the president of the United States doesn't have enough of a bully pulpit to convince people of a lie, that a lie is a lie, I should say, then, where are we? What kind of planet are we living on? What the hell is going on here?
All right, so he called President Obama a cotton-picking president.
Yeah. Now I'm curious. I'm guessing you've never heard that expression.
No, I have heard that.
Oh, you have?
Yeah, I've heard that expression a lot of times, actually. So when I heard
it hasn't been fully embraced by your generation, I suspect.
It hasn't been embraced by my generation. I've heard older people say it. Older people like you. And I'm just kidding. Half kidding. But anyway, so, I've heard cotton picking, I don't know, that cotton picking barista at Starbucks got my order wrong.
Yeah.
It's like...
It doesn't even have to be that derogatory.
Right.
I mean, it can be, or it doesn't have to be a person. It can be like,
this cotton picking dress isn't fitting
What's
today.
the cotton picking problem? Just solve it.
Right.
First of all, it's not really cotton picking. Like it would be picking with a little,
right.
little apostrophe.
So when I originally saw this video, I'm like, let him go. It's not that big of a deal. He didn't mean to say something racist.
Clearly not.
Right.
Clearly
exactly. Not. But of course, Rick Sanchez got criticized for it during the break.
Because his whole show is like about Twitter.
It's all about Twitter. He's on Twitter the entire time.
Yeah.
He's checking Twitter throughout the breaks. That's why he keeps a list.
Right.
It's Rick's list.
Right.
So anyway, so he got some criticism on Twitter during the break, and then he comes back with an apology.
Right,
and the apology is awesome.
Right.
So let's go to that.
In the middle of that conversation at one point, I said, why can't the President of the United States seem to figure this out? After all, he is the cotton-picking President of the United States. Well, soon after I said that, I started getting some tweets from some of you saying, you just said cotton-picking President of the United States for about the first black President of the United States. You're not even going to realize it? I was just saying cotton-picking because it's a term that I've used because I grew up in the South. It's a point that's often used to illustrate frustration. Not in any way shown to used to show any kind of disrespect. However, I was for using it in case it was taken by anyone as an act of disrespect. So there you go. And by the way, thank you. I got about 10 tweets right away from people on Twitter saying, hey, be careful using comments like that. So I do, and I apologize for it.
Yeah, it's not so bad. I mean, he didn't need the explanation of why, because I didn't even know. It's a term that clearly has Southern genesis. It's because that's where we didn't pick cotton in Wisconsin.
Right.
But I don't. It just I didn't even think about that. But I mean, everybody says it. I mean, I didn't grow up in the South, and I grew up hearing it.
You say cotton picking?
I grew up hearing it. I mean, I know exactly what I mean. Maybe I heard it on TV. I don't think I've ever said the word.
Right.
But I mean, it is, and he's exactly right. It's frustration.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. It's what's the cotton picking delay?
Right.
Cotton picking traffic.
I know.
Cotton picking black guys.
Yeah. I know, Jay.
No, is that wrong?
First of all, I'd like to take this opportunity to denounce and reject Ben Mankiewicz.
You know, hold on one sec. Cenk just pointed something out to me. I didn't realize that. I'm sorry. Growing up in the South, I didn't realize that you couldn't say cotton picking black guys, and so I apologize for saying that. The thing I just said, and Cenk, thank you. No.
You know, the part of that apology that cracked me up the most is Rick Sanchez didn't grow up in the South. He grew up in Miami. He's from Cuba originally.
Yeah.
That's not the South. I mean, technically it's South, but it's like saying, you know, I grew up in Chile, and since I grew up in the South, I make racial references like that all the time.
Yeah, Miami is much more, as we often said, as many often say, the sixth borough of New York more than it is the South. Although in some, again, defense of him, he grew up in Hialeah, which is a significant Cuban community, but like when he would have grown up, it's pretty rural. So, and there, as you know, Cenk, there are parts of Miami in and around it that are still sort of surprisingly rural, which would be a little more south. Everybody uses it. His point was merely, he obviously didn't mean anything by it at all, right? We all agree with
that. Now, to be fair, I also grew up in the South of my town in Central Jersey.
Right, sure.
Okay, now listen, I don't want anybody to get confused. It was the most honest slip-up of all time. Yeah, you know, with a black president, you shouldn't say cotton-picking president.
I don't even...
And his apology was actually not that over the top. It was slightly amusing. But on all counts, I'm giving Rick Sanchez a full and complete TYT pardon.
Yeah, a full and complete pardon. I don't even think it's inappropriate, and I think that that people are, you know, I think it's one of those things you could point out. Hey, you might want to check yourself before you wreck yourself.
Right.
On that, but there's not even any. I don't even think there's any issue there because he's not talking about him. He's talking about the frustration that he doesn't use the pulpit, the bully pulpit of the presidency, to change people's ridiculous misconceptions about his faith and about his ties to Islamic fundamentalists, which, by the way, we have some great poll numbers, which we'll be bringing you in the next hour.
Hey, Susan, I thought the most lame part was how his overwhelming response was a total of 10 tweets.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, oh my God. And also he said about 10 of you, which means 6, you know?
Right. And I thought, my God, is anybody watching CNN? Why do you only get 10 tweets on that?
By the way, about 10 tweets might not even have been 6. It could have been 4. All right. Yeah, what, Cenk? Sorry.
Yeah, no, and look, finally on the substance of it, no, Ben is 100% right. Sanchez's heart was 1,000,000% in the right place. But I'll double down on that. I think, you know, that Sanchez is totally right about that. Obama, Jesus, you know, you got a quarter of the country thinking you're a Muslim. Why don't you come out and do a speech and make a big deal out of it? Oh, no, you shouldn't respond to stuff like that. What do you? Of course you should.
Yeah.
You say, hey, you know what? I'm a Christian. Anybody who says otherwise can, you know, tell me how my ass tastes. All right, maybe you shouldn't say that. But, okay, but just beat it back, man. You're the president. What's the matter with you? Why don't you use your bully pulpit for all these things?
Yeah, I know. Go to a mosque and make that speech. All right, what's next?
Go to your local imam and tell him you want to make that speech and clear with him.
Right, exactly. Put on your dashiki and make the speech. Jesus, it's the problem. All right, what else?
All right, the government of Mexico just fired 10% of their police force due to corruption.
Oh.
So what's happening is obviously you've heard about the issue with the drug cartels in Mexico.
I think, just let me slow you down right there. I think because this is overstated, there are no significant, there's no real problem with crime in Mexico, so I don't see why this is a big story.
You're kidding, right? I can't tell whether or not you're being sarcastic.
Oh, come on, Anna. Come on. Of course he's kidding. Have you seen Mexico?
Yeah, we talk about Mexico on a weekly basis.
Look at the video, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
This was like a couple days ago, right? Do we have audio from this at all?
Violence escalated at the beginning of the year in Tamaulipas as the Zetas tried to take control of cities and small towns,
Come on,
especially
give us some
those
gunfire,
close to
baby.
the
Stop
US
talking.
border.
Silencio. Ahora. There, see? That's like walking to school in Mexico. But anyway, take off 10% of the police force. It's fine. They don't need them.
Right. Well, here's the thing. Here's the catch-22. Okay, so they had to fire 10%.
Catch 22.
Catch
for the record.
22. Okay. They had to fire them because of corruption, i.e. they were helping the cartels, they were taking money, bribes, things like that. firing them isn't necessarily going to make the situation any better, though, because they're going to fire these people, and then where do you think they're going to go?
Yeah,
They're going to go work for the cartels.
Yeah, one would imagine. Why don't we have cartels here? Why don't we call them that? Like, why do we think that is?
I don't have an answer for
Because
that
cartel sounds so menacing.
Mm-hmm.
Like we just,
Yeah, I've got a theory on that. We're randomly racialist on all of our terms, right? How come there are no warlords outside of Afghanistan?
Right.
How come the guys who are killing everybody in Iraq, and don't get me wrong, both Muslim countries, etc., but how come the guys in Iraq weren't warlords? You know? And in Mexico, apparently you can't be a gangster or a warlord or a chieftain. You have to be in the cartel.
Yeah, and gangster has that sort of cool connotation to it. You're a gangster, you're a tough guy, you're John Dillinger, you're James Cagney, but a cartel has although you know what, cartel is developing its own certain little cachet. Like the video games. What are the video games? Like that video game, the Mafia video game, looks so cool. Have you seen the ads for it?
Yeah.
Oh my God, it looks fantastic. Makes you want to join the Mafia. But I wouldn't be caught dead in a cartel.
Look, if you look at it that way, warlord is badass. I mean, if you're in that line of business, what would you rather be called? I'd take warlord any day.
Yeah, but warlord sounds menacing, so that we think, oh my, we have to be protected from warlords. But the gangsters, they just kill their own. It does. Your first point that we're a little racialist about it, and the terms that we assign, it's interesting. I don't know. There's probably a really good reason why we call them cartels, and I suspect that may be a term that's of their own genesis, from the cartels themselves. But I don't have any idea.
Right, and then, even within America, we got white-black things, right? Because gangsters are, Al Capone, John Dillinger, but they're also, African-American gangs in the country. And for white criminals, they don't call them gangsters, they call them bankers. That's not right.
All right, what else? Let's do another one here, Anna. What else is there?
Let's take a break, because the next story we have has a lot of details, so.
Let's see. Details, exhausting.
But it's a good story. It's about students who are paying thousands of dollars to get an internship.
Do you promise me drive-through sex later?
Oh, drive-through sex is a must. That'll also be in the next segment.
All right.
By the way, can I just jump in real quick? In television, they make you write out the teases. If you'd written out a tease that said, the next story has a lot of details.
Right, that really gets me. That's a way to rope people in. Like, oh no, I can't bring you this next story. We got to wait till after the break. There's so many details. Oh, it's so dull.
You know what, Euger? All right, I'll write out the teases from now on. And they'll be salacious, every single one of them.
You won't believe what's next. Tits flying out at you.
Innocent interns, they want their job, but they have to pay for it. Is it with drive-through sex? We will tell you when the Young Turks continue. You like this music. That's what I'm hearing from you. Dave plays this for Andy. You like the techno music?
Yeah, Dave finds the cheesier versions, but I do like electronic and techno.
You know who I heard today singing a song that I can't remember? Katy Perry.
Oh, God.
Oh, no, she's really good.
You like her music, really?
She's enormously talented.
Okay, here's the thing with Katy Perry. Jake and I always talk about her. I think she's really beautiful. Jake disagrees.
No, she's hot.
I think she's hot. She's beautiful. Great, beautiful face, big blue eyes. I just don't like her music. It gets on my nerves.
Well, that may be. I don't know. I heard one song is good. I can tell in her, like, that's a talented girl. Like, that's,
right.
She's got something. I don't know what she would win Idol.
One more thing on Katy Perry. She came out with a song. She collaborated with Snoop Dogg.
All people do is collaborate. No one has their own song.
Yeah, exactly. But she collaborated with Snoop Dogg for this song about California girls.
Right, it's a good song, too.
Oh, I love that song.
Yeah, it's good, too.
Yeah, that song I love.
This was a different song, so I like two of her songs. That's why I say it. All right, so...
You white
oh,
moron.
for the love of God. Breaking news. Breaking news. Jank, you'll love this story. You there, Jank?
Yes.
Okay. Washington Post sports columnist Mike Wise, I read him a lot because I'm from D.C., he writes about the Wizards, he writes about the Redskins. So He's been suspended from the paper for 1 month for, quote, a horrendous mistake he made today on Twitter. He made the mistake yesterday. This is great. He tweeted that Ben Roethlisberger, the quarterback for the Steelers, who was, Anna,
Right.
accused of the sexual assault and the charges were dropped because the police didn't find any evidence. And it's the second time he's been involved in some nefarious sexual accusations. No criminal charges, though. So he said that Roethlisberger would be suspended for 5 games instead of the 6 games, right? He tweeted it. And he tweeted, Roethlisberger will get 5 games, I'm told. However, he made it all up. Because he wanted to see which news outlets would pick up his tweeting, and then he would use it as an experiment of bad journalism, about how people will see something on a Twitter account and just report it, no
Right.
matter what.
Right.
So he put it, there'd be 5, and they were like, aha, I got you, I made it up. Except he's a Washington Post reporter, and you can't make stuff up.
Oh, disaster.
So he's
a
like,
Washington Post reporter on sports.
right, on sports, trying to show an effort of bad journalism, catching people in bad journalism, made something up just to see what would happen. It's so dumb. It's a great idea, and then he never thought about level 2.
Is it a paid
Right,
suspension? Because I love those.
No, I'm sure it's not paid. I don't. You know what? I don't know. I'm just guessing.
The other problem there is that the reason why Washington Post is going to get so mad about that is then the rest of the reporters are going to go, okay, fine, then we don't trust any story coming out of the Washington Post.
Yeah, no, that's exactly right. Now the Post reacted. Anyway, they suspended him for a month. He's lucky that he didn't get fired. He says, as part of my show today, it was on the radio, I tried to test the accuracy of social media reporting. Probably not the best way to go about it. In the end, it proved 2 things. I was right about nobody checking facts because Pro Football Talk and the Miami Herald both picked up his story. And then 2, I'm an idiot. Apologies to all involved, and they suspended him for a month. But I just love the idea that a serious journalist was like, I'm going to prove that other journalists are idiots by making something up and publishing it. All right, so that's the end of that.
All right, let's go to our intern story. So it turns out that there are these placement companies, and a lot of them are in Washington, D.C. And what they do is they charge students thousands of dollars, some of them up to $9,000, to place these students in internships. So basically, students are not only not getting paid while working as interns, they're paying these placement companies to get placed in an internship.
So don't people just find internships? I mean, whatever happened to just finding an internship?
See, that's what my assumption was. I mean, maybe I'm so out of the loop that I don't realize how bad the economy is. I don't know. I always thought that if someone's offering to work for you for free, you're not going to deny them unless they're terrible at what they do.
$7,000 the Washington Internship Institute charges for the summer.
Yes.
And others more.
You know what?
Yes.
You know what, though? I get it. I think it makes sense in some ways because some internships are very hard to come by. And for the book I'm going to write my son on advice for his life, one of the piece of advice is going to be get internships. They're enormously helpful in whatever field you're going into. So I'm actually not that surprised that there's a market for it. Now, I know it's terribly perverse that you're getting, not getting paid and you got to pay to do this free job, but there's a lot of logic in it.
Yeah, there is a lot of logic in it. Obviously, you can't fault the Washington Center. There's the one Anna mentioned. They charge $9 in Washington. The other one's $7,000. Another one's $7,800. But this is, I guess, not in the story. But I'm presuming that this is a problem.
This is a problem, and I'll tell you why. Okay, the reason why this is a problem is, first of all, these placement companies or whatever, they're considered nonprofit organizations or whatever.
Right.
The tuition, and this is from the article. This is from Washington Post. The tuition payments.
No, they probably made it up.
They probably made it up. That's
Yeah.
true. Okay, but the tuition payments add up to millions of dollars of revenue for the internship programs, many of which operate as nonprofit groups, pay their top employees 6-figure salaries, and set up shop in prime D.C. real estate. The nonprofit Washington Center has its headquarters in a former embassy blocks from the White House. The center had about $18 million in revenue last fiscal year and has a staff of 75, with at least 8 employees making 6-figure salaries.
And all they do is place interns?
Yes.
That's the whole thing?
Yes, and the president was paid $300,000 last year alone. And he says, he claims that he took a pay cut. So,
Can I revise my opinion?
yes. please.
My new revised opinion is this is an even smarter business than I realized.
Yeah, it's genius.
Yeah, they're making
Yeah,
money
robbing
hand over
students.
fist.
Yeah,
They don't
robbing
even pay
students who
tax
don't
on it.
have any money and are taking out student
All right.
loans and won't be able to find jobs after they graduate.
Now-
great business idea.
Now let me be a huge liberal. The great thing about internships is that it's an even playing field. Influence will get you somewhere, obviously, but you're not getting paid, so that kids who don't have $9,000 to spend over the summer have an opportunity to get their foot in the door someplace and be able to get ahead. Now we are just recycling through kids who have already significant advantages, who parents can fork over $9,000 for the summer while their kid doesn't even make any money. And the elite kids get even more advantages, and sort of this idea of a level playing field, even at the base level of internships, starts eroding, and I think that is an actual problem.
I agree.
I don't want to be mistaken for being the bad guy here, so I agree with Ben.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's. I mean, you know, you don't really fault these places for starting what is clearly an incredibly profitable business, but that's an overall problem. There was something great about internships, and now it blows. It's the corporatization of internships. Why doesn't Obama use his bully pulpit? All right.
Now you're talking my language, Ben.
Yeah.
These damn corporatists, bankers.
All right, I love this story. Cenk, is totally relevant for you. Anna?
Yes, it is relevant for you. Disneyland Paris commissioned a survey of 2,000 parents. And what they found in the survey is that 30% of the parents claim that they don't like to play with their children because they find it boring. All right, that's the relevant finding of the survey.
Totally, yeah.
And what do you think about that, Ben?
I think the number's low.
Yeah, that amazes me.
I think that it's more like 80% of parents find it boring to play with their children.
The reason why it amazes me is because I always thought that I'm the bad guy for thinking it's boring to play with kids. Like, I thought I was a cold, heartless person. And then I'm like, well, maybe it's because they're not my kids, and maybe when I have my own kids, I'll find it fun. But then I start thinking of myself with children, my own children, and I'm like, no, I don't want to play with kids. That just doesn't sound fun to me
I'm not
at
a
all.
parent. I hope to be a parent. We'll let the actual parent speak. It's hilarious that Cenk is the actual parent. Like, you don't have kids so you can play with them. That's not like, I can't wait to have a son so I can play with his blocks. Like, you have a son because you get molded into this little person and you connect and you have a relationship that's like no other, and I'm sure it's great joy. I don't think these people don't want to have kids.
Right.
But that you gotta sit there and play your stupid tiddlywink games. They're mind-numbingly dull. Right. They're horrible. You know why? They're for children. And they can play them for hours, and they can play the same game every day. And you're like, we played this game yesterday. I pretended to lose to you then. Do I have to pretend again? Because I could crush you in this game. You know why? I'm 40. All right, Cenk?
I did not know that I was working with two people with such terrible depravity in their hearts. You know, you people disgust me. No, look, here's the reality. When you have a kid, like my kid has gigantic cheeks, right? So, and he's really young. So my idea of playing with him is like grabbing his cheeks approximately 48 times a day. And I can't get enough of that. But yeah, when you play with older kids, you know, and you're doing your hide and seek, I think it's actually fun for like the first 10 minutes.
Sure, of course.
Right. And then they want to play it for the next 10 hours.
Yeah.
So, of course, as an adult, you got to draw the line somewhere.
You know, when you hear about mothers, you're like, oh, I just love it. I just go home and I just want to play with my kids all day. And I'm thinking, I don't want to know you. Like, I want you to play with the kids and engage them. It's like one of your jobs. Mm-hmm. I got that. But I just want you to be a little honest about it. Yeah, I got to go home and play with my kids. Awesome. I love my kids. They're awesome. But I got to play 3 hours with the friggin' blocks. I mean, it can't be good. It just can't be.
It sounds disastrous.
Yeah, all right. This is going to be a great YouTube clip.
All right, let's go to the next story. Officials in Switzerland have established drive-through brothels. What they have done is, first of all, they have a huge problem with prostitution, and since they can't, they're having a hard time regulating it. So the officials there are thinking, well, if you can't beat them, join them. And what they're doing is they're creating these large box-like structures on the streets of Switzerland where people can drive in, get serviced by a prostitute, and then drive out.
Yeah, like you can drive in. It's big enough for a car.
Right. And the reason why they created these structures is because there was a problem with prostitutes servicing individuals on the streets in broad daylight.
Yeah, and that's a problem.
Yeah, of course that's a problem.
When you're playing with your kids, you, yeah, I mean, look, here's the thing. Civilization is 10,000 years old. It took us that long for the Swiss to finally recognize it's over. We can't handle this. We can't stop it. We can't handle it. We got to figure out another way. It seems like the rest of the world, although Germany, a couple of German cities have done it too, but it's taken the rest of the world. They're going to continue fighting this pointless fight.
Right, exactly. I mean, when are we finally going to see these box-like structures on the streets of Los Angeles?
And it gives you these right? It gives you credibility. Oh God, what would happen in those box-like structures when like there isn't sex going on? You know what? Those structures will become so gross and infested by sort of this, you know, the big homeless problem here is that people would sleep there and they'd use it as a bathroom. That literally you would not have sex with a hooker there.
Right.
You're like, it's so gross. You're like, I wouldn't sleep with a hooker in there.
But it would create jobs because then we'd have to hire people in Los Angeles to clean the boxes.
Yeah, except we wouldn't.
That's true.
Yeah.
Can I just jump in here to say what an absurd idea this is? I mean, don't get me wrong. Who is it more in favor of legalizing prostitution than I am? I mean, God bless. It makes all the sense in the world. Of course, people are going to do it, so you should just legalize it and be done with the farce, right? But these giant blocks in the middle of the city, I mean, these boxes that you drive into, what? I mean, that seems like super ugly. Second of all, the minute you drive into that box, I think everybody knows what's going on. And then, third of all, I got a question, like, what's in the box? I mean, do they stay in the car? Or do they get outside the car and get adventurous and roam around in the box?
I think that that's negotiation, excuse me. That's just business.
Yeah, that's
Once you're in the box, it's business. What I would do is, like, I mean, especially, like, if you're running late, I just park my car in the box and go to the restaurant. Like, it's perfect. You just, you know, look at that.
Nobody's going to question you, right?
Yeah, look at that. You just back it in. Beep, 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 beep. You're out. Yeah, and then maybe when you come back, you get a blowjob. All right. Anyway.
I think I'm going to leave it right there, man. I don't think I can beat that.
All right, Anna, thanks.
Thank you.
Jenk and I are back for hour 2 talking about Palin's numbers, discouraging Democratic numbers, and crazy stuff about how many Republicans think that Barack Obama sympathizes with Islamic fundamentalists. It's a great story. We'll have all that coming up on the answer.